The summer of 2023 had started out like any other for Emily and her husband, Jason, in their quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio. The streets were lined with tall maple trees, and the sound of children playing in the cul-de-sac was a familiar comfort. Emily had always felt safe in their home, a cozy two-story with white siding, a picket fence, and a little garden she had spent years cultivating. But that sense of security was about to be shattered in ways she could never have imagined. It began with small things. At first, Emily brushed them off as coincidences. The sound of footsteps on the stairs late at night when Jason was away on business, the feeling that someone was watching her from the window while she watered the garden, the faint creak of the front door, even though she was sure she had locked it. She tried not to think about it, chalking it up to stress and exhaustion from her job as a graphic designer. But deep down, a knot of unease had begun to grow. The first true scare came one Thursday evening. Emily had just finished putting their 6-year-old daughter, Chloe, to bed and was sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone when she heard it, a faint scratching at the back door. Her heart jumped. Jason was still out of town, and the sound was unmistakable. Slowly, she approached the door, her bare feet barely making a sound on the hardwood floor. She peeked through the window but saw nothing, just the dark, empty backyard. She told herself it was a raccoon or perhaps a loose branch brushing against the door. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone. That night, Emily barely slept. Every shadow seemed alive, and every creak of the house set her nerves on edge. By morning, she had convinced herself that it was all in her imagination. But then came the second incident, much more terrifying than the first. It was a Sunday morning when Emily decided to take Chloe to the park. Jason was visiting his parents, and Emily thought a few hours outdoors would help clear her mind. When they returned, the house looked exactly as it had that morning, except the front door was slightly ajar. Panic gripped her chest. She rushed inside, calling out Chloe's name and checking every room. Nothing seemed disturbed, and Chloe had been safe the entire time. But the realization hit her like a punch. Someone had been inside their home. Emily called the police, who conducted a thorough search and collected fingerprints and other evidence. They assured her that there were no signs of theft and that the intruder had likely been scared off. The relief was temporary. For weeks afterward, Emily slept with the lights on, kept the doors locked even during the day, and installed new security cameras. She told herself it was just a one-time thing, that it wouldn't happen again. But it did. One night, as Emily was finishing the dishes, she heard a whisper from the living room. Emily, her blood ran cold. She froze, straining her ears. There was silence for a moment, then another whisper, this time clearer. Emily. She dropped the dish she was holding, shattering it on the floor. Chloe, sleeping upstairs, stirred and called out for her mother. Emily ran to the stairs, her mind racing. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911, her hands trembling. As she crouched in the hallway, trying to stay out of sight, she saw a shadow move across the living room floor. Her breath caught in her throat. Someone was inside her home. The police arrived within minutes, surrounding the house and cautiously entering with flashlights and weapons drawn. The intruder was gone, leaving behind nothing but a faint scent of cologne and a feeling of dread that lingered long after they left. Emily realized then that she could no longer ignore the reality. She and her family were being targeted, and the safety she had taken for granted was gone. Over the following months, the intrusions continued, each more brazen than the last. Windows were found unlocked, doors were left open, and Chloe's toys were sometimes rearranged. Emily tried to maintain normalcy, but the fear was always there, a shadow over every quiet moment. Friends and neighbors offered sympathy and advice, but nothing seemed to stop the relentless terror. Then, one evening, Emily returned home from work to find a note taped to her front door. Written in hurried, almost childlike handwriting, it read, "I see you. I'm always here." Her hands shook as she tore it down, and for the first time, she truly understood the horror of living under constant threat. Determined not to be a victim, Emily installed state-of-the-art security systems, motion sensors, and even a safe room. She took self-defense classes and taught Chloe what to do in an emergency. Slowly, she rebuilt a sense of control, but the memories of those nights, the terror, and the violation never left her. The final scare came on a rainy October night. Emily was alone in the house, Jason away on a business trip. She had just finished a late dinner when she heard the unmistakable sound of the front door unlocking. Heart racing, she grabbed her phone and retreated to the safe room she had installed months earlier. Through the security camera feed, she saw a man entering her home, moving with deliberate caution, searching for something. She stayed silent, barely breathing, until the police arrived once again. The man was apprehended, and Emily learned that he had been a serial intruder who targeted homes in her area for months. Her family had narrowly escaped harm on countless occasions. In the aftermath, Emily and Jason worked tirelessly to reclaim their sense of safety. They moved some furniture, added more security features, and slowly resumed a normal routine. Emily never forgot the fear, the adrenaline, or the sleepless nights, but she also never let it define her. She became an advocate for home safety in her community, sharing her story to ensure that no one else would experience what she had endured. Through it all, Emily learned that safety is never guaranteed, but vigilance, preparation, and community can make all the difference. She also learned to trust her instincts and never ignore the small, unsettling signs that something is wrong. And though the horror of those nights would stay with her forever, it also became a story of resilience, courage, and the relentless determination to protect what she loved most.